Hey guys, welcome back on the channel today. I've got a bit of a special episode for you. We all like to find our unearthed gems and unknown players. So that's what this episode today is about. Trying to find, there's not many, but trying to find one young player per team in Serie A this season. And to do it with me, I've invited someone who's kind of known to do this all the time on Twitter, on Instagram. If you follow her, she is a content creator. She's created her own brand, Lex FC. If you're a techie baller, you're usually part of Lex FC. So welcome on the channel, Lex. How you doing?
Hello, thank you so much for having me. This is really exciting. I know we've been meaning to do this for a while, so I'm so glad. And the topic is awesome, honestly. I'm really looking forward to it. As you mentioned, it was a little difficult at times with some teams. I'm like, we had to choose between like maybe two U23 players, but I think hopefully we get the job done.
Yeah. We were speaking backstage and said our criteria was under 23, but because it's Italy, we might need to raise it to 25. But we got there in the end. But anyway, before we get into it, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we have left the links for Lex in the description down below. So check her out on social. As I said, she's a content creator and one of the few females in this culture space as well. So make sure you support extra for that.
Thank you.
So let's get started, Lex. Ladies first. The first team that we're doing it alphabetically as the Serie A table is now with 0 points. AC Milan, air conditioner Milan, the cousins of Inter. Who have you picked for Milan?
Oh, air conditioner Milan, my favorite cousin. I'm gonna choose Yashari. I know that that's not a lesser known player. It's kind of seemed to be on everybody's radar, but I did have to lean that way because I'm looking forward to see how he contributes to that midfield and replaces, Reinders left a big gap in that midfield. So I'm looking
Mm.
forward to see how he does, and maybe under the guidance of Modric. I know he's going to have a fellow youngin Ricci with him as well. But yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah. I mean, they chased him for like the whole summer, so he has to be worth it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, one of the most ridiculous transfer sagas I've ever seen. But he's there now, and he just about qualifies because he is 23 years old. So he's coming in at a good age, I guess. So that's a good pick. Because you pick Yashari, I've done this like depending on who you pick, I'll pick two names. I'll pick the other name that I put in here. I'll put Bartisaghi. So he's the young fullback, Italian fullback. I think he's 21 year old, if I remember correctly, or 20 or 21. He's been playing in preseason, but it is Allegri, so who knows if he actually plays when the season starts. I mean, Theo has left. They signed Estupiñán at left back, but I think there is a gap there at left back. Terracciano has left. So I think there's some space for Bartisaghi. You don't see like a really high ceiling for him, but he could be maybe like a new De Sciglio. Allegri was obsessed with De Sciglio, so maybe it's his new De Sciglio.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah. So that's Milan. Let's move on to Atalanta. I'll go first this time. I've picked Marco Palestra, another young Italian. Gasperini, when he was there, was speaking about him in glowing terms. I think he is his main position in the Primavera is like a winger, attacking midfielder. But when he played for Atalanta, I think he played as a wing back. And the Juric, I don't know like how this is going to work out, but he's like 1 meter 86, so he's quite built as well. So I think he could be maybe a wing back kind of build. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he gets any minutes this season. Marco Palestra. Who have you gone for?
That's exciting. Okay, I've gone for another more common name. I promise I have other names on this list, but Samardzic, because I felt that he didn't get the playing time last season, and I'm wondering if under Juric, maybe he has that opportunity to help rejuvenate this Atalanta squad. And that goal he scored against Juve in the friendly, I don't know if you
Oof,
saw
I
it,
saw it. I
but
saw
it
it.
was ridiculous. So that's who I'm going to say I'm going to invest stocks in this season, kind of having a breakout year.
Yeah, I think pound for pound, he's probably maybe top 5 most talented players in the league. Yeah, that left foot. If only I think he was literally an Inter player if it wasn't for his dad, and I'm salty about that.
I know you like him.
Yeah, I do really
Yeah.
like him, and that's a good pick. Yeah, but no, those are two I think solid picks. I think definitely Samardzic has to be his season, otherwise he probably has to move if it's not his year this year. Now let's move on to Bologna. Go back to you again.
Okay. For Bologna, this one was also surprisingly tough. The options were more limited for under 23. So I went with Santi Castro, which I know is another mainstream name, but again, just repeating what he did or improving upon last season at only 20 years old, right? I thought he looked super strong. So hopefully he can continue that. I know he's got some competition with Immobile. So there'll be a bit of a balance there between a veteran and a younger player, but looking forward to him this season as well.
Yeah, he was linked with Inter and big teams at one point, and then I think he just dropped off, and then you've not seen any links this summer with him, which has been kind of surprising. So I don't think he's, I think he's quite a good pick because he's still definitely, I don't think he actually ended up scoring that many goals. So there's definitely a next level he can go to, right?
Yeah, he got 9. I think he had, I think I had it here, 10 GA. No, 10 goals, 8 assists. 10 goals, 8 assists.
Oh, 18 GA.
Yeah, 18 GA. Sorry.
Whoa.
Yeah, 18 GA.
Okay. That's pretty good, actually. I didn't know that he had that many. But I think, 10 goals is pretty low. So if you can have like a 15 plus goal season, then your stocks through the window.
Exactly.
I've gone for one guy that actually was on loan to Monza for the second half of last year. He's young Polish player called Urbanski. He's really technically, I think he could be part of Lex FC.
Yeah,
really good technically.
Yeah.
They compare him to kind of Zielinski, like a young Zielinski. He's got that. He's a midfielder, but he likes to dribble. He likes to take players on, and he's got an eye for a pass. I think anyone playing at Monza last year was just unlucky, especially in the second half of last season. So, hopefully Italiano, who is a Lex FC coach, can develop him.
Yeah, awesome.
So that's Bologna. And now we get to another tough one. This one I really had to search, and that is Cagliari. So I'll go first this time. I have gone for a Turkish striker that's on loan from Besiktas.
Okay.
His name is Chiliksoy. He is the captain of the under-21 Turkish team. He has 6 caps and 5 goals for the under-21s. And I looked at some highlights just before this video, and he looks good. They call him the Turkish Aguero, so I'm sold.
Okay. Awesome. That sounds great. Honestly, my Cagliari pick is I promise that I have I think the other half of my list is lesser known players because I went for Seb Esposito, one of the the 3 brothers. had to go with that signing because it'll be exciting to see what he does there. Still, like we said, making the age limit that we've set. So like to see him have a strong season there as well.
Yeah. Which one is your favorite Esposito?
In terms of highest ceiling, I think Pio has the highest ceiling. But yeah, I'd have to say probably Pio. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I think Seba's probably the most technically gifted out of the 3.
Yeah.
But I do like, because I just have a weakness for registas or CDMs. I like Salvatore, the one that plays for Spezia.
They're all great.
Yeah, I mean, finally, Seba has got a permanent move, so hopefully he can finally kind of put it all together.
Hope so. Yeah.
And maybe get called up to the Italy national team. Who knows?
Would be cool. Definitely.
All right, the new favorite hipster team, Como.
Okay, I've got Jaden Adai.
Oh, okay, that's a different one,
so he joined from AS Alkmaar for 14 million. He's 19 years old. He scored, I don't know if he scored, but he won MVP in the match versus Ajax in the Como Cup, and he won the UEFA Youth League. So he is a winger, a techie winger. My brother and I were talking about him. Actually, he watched some of his highlights too. He said kind of a bit like Kvara style. So really good at dribbling. There's another highlight of him where he tore up Barca's back line as well in their friendly match. I watched a bit of him in that game as well. So definitely an exciting talent. Como's a place for those. There's a plenty of them there, so it's hard to choose. But I think I would invest in Jaden Adai.
Yeah, that's a really good, interesting pick. I didn't know much about him, so that's why I didn't pick him. I went, in this case, I've gone for the obvious one because he was the big signing this summer, Baturina, the Croatian.
Yeah.
He signed from Dinamo Zagreb. A lot of teams were linked with him, and the fact that Como pulled it off was really, really interesting. and he's kind of like he's a mezzala slash
Mhm.
attacking mid, could be a winger. So kind of I guess he needs to pick where his position is going to be, but he could be the Nico Paz of this season, I think.
Exciting. Cool. Sorry about
So
that.
next up, we have the team that I actually struggle with the most, Cremonese. Who did you go for, Lex?
I went for Warren Bondo, who plays in the midfield, 21 years old. And this was a really difficult team to choose someone for.
It was. Yeah, Bondo actually, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember, when I made this video 2 or 3 years ago, he was part of my list back then for Monza. So it took him a while, but he got there in the end.
Yes.
So yeah, hopefully he can do better at Cremonese than he did at Milan. I've gone for Terracciano. I mean, I really didn't know who to pick for Cremonese, but I liked Terracciano when he was Hellas Verona, but clearly he wasn't at the level of Milan. But I think there's a player there. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he can put it together at Cremonese on loan this season. Now, next up, Fiorentina. And this one also was a difficult one. They've got a new coach, Pioli, at the helm.
Yeah.
I've gone for a centre back. I saw him playing against the Man United the other day when Fiorentina had their friendly against Man United. And he looked interesting because they haven't really made any signings at the back, Fiorentina, and especially if they're going to play three at the back. So I think this guy actually might get some minutes this season, and his name is Eddie Quadio. He's a 19-year-old Ivorian centre back. So, if they're going to play three at the back and Pioli's going to try to play his usual high line, high press, I think he could thrive.
Nice. That's a good pick. I didn't know about him. So that's interesting. I have to look out for him this season. I
Who have
went
you gone
for Jacopo Fazzini, 23-year-old. So on the upper end, but came from Empoli. So looking forward, like you said, I know so many things are up in the air with Pioli there. So we'll see, but looking forward to seeing how he does.
Yeah, he deserved a bigger team, definitely. So I'm looking forward to that. Next up, Genoa. I'll go first because this is just the obvious pick. Most Interisti are only tuning in to Genoa to watch Valentin Carboni. Just a beautiful left foot talent. He already scored his first goal the other day in Coppa Italia, so hopefully that continues. Valentin Carboni, we're all supporting you.
Of course, you had to go for him. Not surprised. I picked Lorenzo Venturino, the 19-year-old. He scored a brace on his debut against Bologna at the end of the year last season. I don't know if you remember him, but
I remember.
Yeah, so I came across his name and I was like, I remember him. I don't know if Bologna was like already finished with their season after they won the Coppa, but still, it's pretty great to do that on your debut, right? At 19 years old. So
yeah, that's a good pick. I'm actually going to make sure to check him out this season. That's a very good pick. Next up, my beloved Inter, and I think we'll probably have the same name here. You can say it.
Pio Esposito.
He's got way bigger muscles than me, but yeah, hopefully see that celebration often. As you said, out of the Esposito brothers, he's got the highest ceiling, and I've heard rumors that Gattuso might even call him up for the next Italy squad already.
That would be exciting. We need that. He did great at Spezia last season. I enjoyed watching him there. So yeah, and I know you've been a fan of his for a while as well.
Yeah, I mean, but I wasn't, because I don't tune into Serie B, so I wasn't actually too familiar with his actual overall game. Has impressed me in the Club World Cup and preseason.
He scored. He got that goal in the Club World Cup, which was great.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an easy one. Now it's time for your expertise to come in. Your beloved team, unfortunately, Juve.
My beloved team, I had to go with. It was kind of tough, but I mean, I went with Miretti, assuming he stays.
Ooh, okay.
So that's my pick. I mean, Kenan Yildiz, I don't even know if I'd even consider him in this discussion at all.
Yeah, we all know about Yildiz.
We all know about him. He's, world class at this point. But Miretti,
chill.
Miretti, I think, can have a strong season. I mean, he showed a lot of potential at Genoa last season. I really hope we keep him because I think he can take that step forward and become an important piece in our midfield. So that's who I'm investing in. But I'm interested to see who you pick.
Yeah, I picked Adzic just because of Beppe Juve. He's always hyping him up on his social media. So I was like, let's just do this for Beppe. But he looks good. He's like I think he's like an attacking midfielder, right? But he's quite built. Like he looks pretty like a well-built attacking player, like technically gifted. He's one of those Balkan guys are always technically gifted.
Definitely, yeah.
And I think he's only 19, but he looks like he's, in his mid-20s already.
Yes, he looks older than he is. That's what I was going to say earlier. He looks older than he is.
Yeah. And now let's move on to Lazio. And I've gone here for this is another name like Bondo. I've mentioned him maybe 2 or 3 seasons back. His career just doesn't seem to pan out. But Cancellieri, surely this is the season where it all comes together for him under Sarri.
Yeah, I have the same one for this run. Like, yeah, I've got Cancellieri as well. As you mentioned, I thought he had some good flashes at Parma last season where he looked pretty good. So hopefully, like you said, he can pull everything together and put out a good, consistent season. He's looked pretty good in preseason so far, or so I've seen when I've been on Twitter looking through highlights and stuff.
Yeah, same. I saw he scored a couple of goals in preseason. He is talented. And obviously, left-footed. We know left-footed players are always, special talents. So hopefully, he can put it together because we need wingers as well as strikers in the Italian national team, don't we?
Yeah, agreed. Yes, we do. We need a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true. We need a World Cup. Next up, we've got, I think the next team is also the very easy one, Lecce.
Yes, it has to be Kamada. I hear about him every day from Milan fans. Every day they talk about him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking forward to see what he can do with some serious playing time. It was definitely a smart move to do that and, start putting up some consistent numbers. And, yeah, so.
Yeah, and I saw the big news today that Kristovic is going to Atalanta, so that means Camarda might actually even be the main man for Lecce. I'm sure they'll sign another striker, but at the moment, he, match day 1, he could be starting for a 17-year-old.
Which is insane. Could be the guy to keep them up from relegation, too.
That would be massive. Pio and Camarda, that could be the future striker duo for Italy.
True. That's really true. Maybe we'll look back at this video and be like, hey.
We told you.
We called it.
Okay, next up is another difficult one because Antonio Conte, he's not known to be, the whisperer, the youth whisperer, but I've gone for Marianucci, the young Empoli centre-back that they signed a few weeks back. Usually Conte is good with centre-backs, like, Bastoni at Inter was, Conte wanted to keep him. So maybe he can cook something similar with Marianucci. And there wasn't many other choices, to be honest.
Yeah. Honestly, there was a lot of older players, not a lot of young players. I struggled with that one. So I kind of bent the rule a little bit and said Billy Gilmore because I was really struggling. And he's 24 and he's not super lesser known. But
yeah.
I went with him because I honestly was a huge fan of his last season. I wished he played more. I know their midfield is really tough to break into because of the profiles that they have, but honestly, we just love to see him play more for Napoli this year. I thought he was so good last season.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's he's a good player. Yeah, I liked him in the Premier League as well. So yeah, we'll let you off that one.
Thank you. Yeah,
the Napoli squad is a difficult one. Yeah, there wasn't many.
It was so hard.
All right, I'll let you go first with the next team, Parma. This team actually had a lot of young players.
Yes, there were so many young players. Let's see who I have here. Oh, I have Pellegrino.
Oh,
for Parma. Oh, do you? Nice. Yeah, you got that brace against Pescara. I was watching that match, and he scored 2 fantastic goals, especially the header that he scored, just movement in the box. And I was like, looks promising. So hopefully up for a strong season.
Yeah, I think he's going to take over from Boni. Boni is a, hole that he's left. He was really impressive, like last season when Inter played Parma. Boni was impressive, but then Pellegrino came on the second half, and he just looks a handful, like a old school centre forward, like really strong, and maybe like a Retegui vibe, but with like more power.
Yes, exactly.
And next up, this one was difficult. I mean, might have been difficult for you, but it was easy for me because there's another Inter player on loan at Pisa, young Nigerian centre midfielder called Akin Sanmiro, or Interisti, we call him Akin San Siro because the name just fits. I have, he's one of the few Inter youth players that I have hope in and faith in. This is more maybe just hopium that he's going to have a good year.
Yes. Awesome. I didn't know about him, so that'll be interesting. And Pisa coming up, I mean, and changing their coach is like already not the best sign for them. But so we'll see how they do this year. But my pick was a little bit, I did a bit of research for this one. It was Samuele Angori. So it's a fullback for them. So 21 years old and yeah, supposed to be promising as a talent. So looking forward to seeing how he does there. But
oh, that's a good one. Angori. I'll remember that name. Next up, Gasparini's Roma. I've gone for Evan Ferguson here, just because similar to Billy Gilmore when watching Premier League. Couple of seasons back, Evan Ferguson came through and he was like, they were rating him like, obviously, as you know, with Premier League, 70, 80 million, just like after 5 games. But he seems like he's had a pretty good preseason with Roma. And I think Gasperini likes that type of striker. He's pretty complete. He likes to drop deep, play with the ball. Technically, he's good, strong. I'm expecting Roma to be wanting to keep him after this loan.
I'm excited for him. I really am. I think a lot of people are looking forward to having him. I keep forgetting that they signed him, honestly, with everything that's going on, all the signings. But for me, I went with maybe more of an obvious choice, but Wesley coming in as fullback for Roma. We actually share the same birthday, which I discovered, so which is
nice.
cool. From Flamengo. So he's shown a lot of promise to be like a right wing back for Gasperini. They're looking for someone to play down that right side, and I've heard a lot of hype surrounding him, seen some clips, so we'll see how he does this year. He's only 21.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know he was that young. I was looking at him, but I thought usually it takes like, guys coming from South America, maybe like a season to get, accustomed to it. But
Fair.
maybe he could explode in one season, and
yeah,
he's the next big wing back, fullback in football.
There we go.
Next up, we've got Inter's arch nemesis, Sassuolo, who are back up in Serie A. Who did you go for here?
They're back. So I went with the Volpato. I remember him from a few seasons back at Roma. I believe Mourinho gave him his debut. Yeah. And I remember being a fan of his and back then. So then he was with Sassuolo and looking to be good, still young as well. So I'm looking to see what he does, getting another shot playing in Serie A.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Left-footed attacking midfielder, right?
Yeah, attacking midfielder, of course.
Yeah. Lex FC.
FC.
I've gone for a centre midfielder who has been in their team for like a couple of years. Even when they were in Serie A, he was part of this team, if I remember correctly. He's called Lipani.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like a regista, CDM. I think, I've watched some clips of him when he was in Serie B last season. He's not like a certain starter for them, but I can see him being, maybe the next, Ricci or, Casadei, like, just the next upcoming centre midfield talent for the Italian national team. I don't know what his ceiling is, but just want to keep an eye on. Okay. And moving on to Torino, I just mentioned him, Casadei.
Yeah, Casadei. That's my pick. Yeah, I feel like that's yours as well.
Yeah, I mean, he was part of the Inter youth team, so I don't need to say too much about him. Why did you pick him?
Promising Italian talent out of the midfield for me. Yeah, I'm excited to see. I don't watch a ton of Torino, but might have to tune in more for this season. Check it out. Yeah, that's Juve's arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Other than yourself.
Not really.
Yeah.
You always beat them.
Yeah, true. True.
Yeah, no, Casadei is like he's a bit like Giovanni Fabian. Like they're really good at attacking the space, the box, but not maybe too technically gifted, in my opinion. Or like a Frattesi, he reminds me. He's definitely like a Frattesi profile. But maybe he can, he's pretty young still, so maybe he can complete his like skill set in this year. Another shout out I want to give for Torino is Angerin. He was at Empoli last year. I think he's quite an interesting English talent. Next up, this one was also kind of difficult because Udinese have always just like a myriad of like random 20-year-olds in their squad. But I've gone for a centre back that is signed from Spezia on a free transfer.
Me too.
Bertola.
Yes. Great show.
Yeah, Inter were linked to him. I haven't actually watched much of him. I only watched some clips when I was watching Pio for Spezia, so I was also trying to look out for Bertola. But yeah, he looks strong. He looks like he's got good reading of the game, good in the air. Anything else that you want to add to that?
Oh, he's great. He's probably one of the strongest CVs in Serie B last season. Another young Italian talent. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he ended up as a free transfer.
Yeah, it's a great pickup for Udinese.
Yeah, and they're going to sell him for 20, 30 million minimum, right?
Of course.
And then last one, another really difficult one, Hellas Verona. They also have just sound like the squad sometimes just seems made up, like, those kind of randomly generated players.
No,
who have you gone for?
Well, I had picked Suslov, and he unfortunately tore his ACL. Poor guy. I am so sorry. He was such a joy to watch. In training, so he's going to be out until indefinitely, at least until January, into the new year. So he was my choice. In backup, I could say like Mitrovic, again 23, so like on the cusp, more well known, but it would be my pick. Yeah, because I really was a fan of Suslov.
Yeah, no, he's really good. Another left-footed attacking midfielder.
Of course. Yeah.
There's a trend here. So yeah, because of that news, I also had to look at someone different, and I looked at the Coppa Italia highlights, and I saw this young Brazilian 21-year-old called Jovan Nascimento, which, like, just the name deserves to be, mentioned. So he's a young Brazilian attacking midfielder, center midfielder, but apparently can also play as a forward. He looks good. Like, when you just see, you don't need to watch a player for like a few minutes. Sometimes you just see a player for like 10 seconds, right, Lex, and you can tell he's a baller.
Exactly.
So that's Jovan Nascimento. Watch out for him.
Awesome. I'll have to keep that one in mind. You're right, though. It doesn't take long, honestly. Sometimes you just know right away.
Yeah, exactly. But then also in Serie A, we might have picked these guys and they get loaned off to Serie C randomly.
Well, exactly. I know.
But yeah, we've got through all 20 teams, Lex. We've managed to do it. It was a difficult task for some teams, but we managed to do it. Are you excited for the upcoming Serie A season?
I'm really excited. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. I think there's just so many new storylines to follow this year. Like, that's going to be the coolest part. How about you? Are you excited?
Yeah. I saw your video on Instagram the other day about the storylines, and I agree. There's some really good storylines, and yeah, as an Inter fan, I'm still kind of not too excited because I feel like we need to do more in the transfer window. But yeah, in general, I'm happy that Serie A is going to be back, and yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's coming up fast. 4 days to go. It's crazy.
But thank you for coming through, and hope everyone has enjoyed this video. But Lex, just give a quick little, spiel about what you do and why people should follow you.
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for having me on your show. It's awesome. I love the work that you do. You work so hard. It's so much work, content creation. So truly, you do a wonderful job with everything that you do. And I do content creation as well. I'm on Instagram and TikTok and X under Alexa. And I do mainly Juve coverage, but also just Serie A in general. So if you're interested in that, yes, you can follow those accounts.
Yeah, no, I recommend it. It's unfortunately she supports Juve, but in general she does make good general Serie A content, which I try to do here and there, but of course Inter takes up most of my time.
It's a lot, yeah.
But thank you everyone that tuned in. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Ciao ragazzi, forza Serie A.